All right, so we're talking about HD file size. When we're putting together HD audio recordings, let's take, for example, recording a bunch of tracks. In this example, we're actually going to be looking at, even though you only see 8 tracks in front of you, we're going to talk about what it's like to record 50 tracks at standard definition versus high definition. So, standard definition, we're going to use a sample rate of 44.1 kilohertz per second. And so, if we take an example of 4 minutes of audio, just as a rough estimate, could equal 500 megabytes. The important part is that each minute of audio, whether there's information on the track or not, is the same in terms of size. So a silent track of 4 minutes will also still be the same size. If we multiply that times 50 tracks for our session, we have a total file size of 25 gigs. Once we go to high definition, for example, 88.2 kilohertz sample rate, because it's a duplicate of that value in resolution, it'll actually be a duplicate in file size. So instead of it being 44.1 kilohertz, 4 minutes for each track would be 500 megabytes. A 4-minute track in 88.2 at HD will be equal to 1 gig. So if we multiply that times 50 tracks, we'll end up with a total file size of 50 gigs. So the biggest consideration that we have to talk about in the front end is standard definition versus high definition is typically a duplicating of file size, so it's much bigger, but depending on how much you go up in sample rate, it can be 2 times bigger or more. And so in this instance, a 50 gig session is pretty large.